Okay, as you mentioned, I am part of the Dicastery of the Evangelization on the first section, which is the section which is in charge of the fundamental question of the evangelizations in the world, because the second section is the section of the ancient propaganda fide for the evangelization, the first evangelizations in the world. And our dicastery, which is led by His Excellency Monsignor Archbishop Monsignor Rino Fisichella, has been charged from Pope Francis to the preparation and the celebration of the 2025 Jubilee. So we have to face like this new goal inside our dicastery, because okay, of course, the Jubilee talks about evangelization, but it is a great challenge to face. And I am personally charged of the cultural affairs, so I'm working on culture and cultural affairs for evangelization and for the 2025 Jubilee and the 2025 International Expo in Japan, which is also led by His Excellency Fisichella. What I'm gonna tell you and talk to you is to try to explain what does it mean to prepare and to celebrate Jubilee, which are two really different phases of work to do. Is because it has been very different since the Holy Door has opened in St. Peter, and then after the Holy Door opened, and of course. It wasn't it was the last time was like 400 years ago that we have lost a pope during the jubilee, so a new challenge to face. So we started to prepare the jubilee in 2022, and we imagined, thanks to Pope Francis, it was a Pope Francis idea to prepare also a cultural program, which I am charged to do, to imagine and prepare together with His Excellency, of course. And what I can tell you is that we prepared the Jubilee trying to listen almost all the people around the world and all different categories in the church. Like we listen from the seminarians, from the priests, from bishops, but also from lays, also from artists, sportsmen, movement association, confraries, many different kind of people have been called in our dicastery to be part and in commissions to imagine their proper event during the Jubilee, because the Jubilee, as I may tell you, is a great event, historical event, as I'm sure that you know, it started from the beginning of the 40th century. So it's a medieval idea that it came until our days, changing the modality of celebration, but then it's almost the same as the beginning. But all this year is divided in many different categories celebrations. So we started from communication words or journalists and televisions, radio, and something like that. We got on with artists, with handicapped people, with prisoners, with government, with the Holy See. So all those different type of community inside the church as their own celebration inside the Jubilee. The last one was for families, kids, and grandfathers. So great events that moved to Rome more than 200,000 people. So what I wanted to say and to tell you is that the work of the preparation, it was trying to imagine what is the best moment to reunite all those people in Rome, and what to do in the days before the celebration of the Jubilee, because Jubilee is not only to for us to prepare the path of crossing the Holy Door inside the four Roman Basilica, but is a. Do you hear me? Sorry, because I had a call on the back. Um, so it was not only this one, but it was also to try to imagine something to do for those group of people. So we organized places and squares and routes in Rome to feel those people coming from all over the world, to feel them welcome in Rome before giving them the possibility to press through the Holy Door for Papal Basilica. I can let you imagine that the most the most cross door is St. Peter's Basilica, which has been passed by 11 million people at the 30th of April. So from the 25th of December to the 30th of April, the Holy Door of St. Peter has been crossed from more than 11 million people. And we are expecting that. We were expecting that because we are expecting 32 to 33 million people in Rome for the Jubilee. And the cultural program, which is an important part of the celebration of the Jubilee, and this is the difference between the preparation and the celebration, is that we try to offer to the pilgrims exhibitions, art exhibitions, and concert to let them experience in a very complete way what we are talking when we what we want to share to the people when they arrive in Rome. So they arrive in Rome and they had the opportunity to visit some great exhibitions like the Caravaggio, like the Munch, like the Rembrandt on the Easter, and to attend to important concert of sacred music, but not only sacred music, because our intention was not only to share some sacred art and music, but it was also to try to face some diplomatic problem and issues, and we try to talk about dialogues from between nations and between nations in war, not only like we work a lot with the Russian art, with the Ukrainian art, with Palestinian embassy. So we try to unify all the world, all the nations around the culture and around the Dome of St. Peter. Let's try to say this one. In any case, around the Jubilee. And yes, the program is now currently working on a great concert of Palestrina, which is a great composer of the papal chapel, papal choir, which is now is the 500th anniversary of his birth. So we are organizing that, but we are now hosting a great exhibition of Rembrandt, as I told you. So the people that are coming now are now having the possibility to experience that during the Jubilee, and it's a sort of idea of Pope Francis that have been confirmed from Pope Leo, because, of course, after the death of Pope Francis, we had all to stop all our programs and wait for Pope Leo's approval. Of course, he approved everything, and then we are so happy that we can move and look forward to the future and to the greater, of course. uh, we missed something. We missed something in the month without the Pope. So after the death, to the very first days of Pope Leo, we had to stop almost everything. Not, of course, the crossing of the Holy Door, but then the pilgrim, the cultural program and the welcoming program was a bit in difficult. But then we are okay, and we are going on with very great. Um, Strong and spirit moved from Pope Leo's energy that he gave to us. And again, I wanted to tell also that we are also hosting many initiatives, cultural initiatives and spiritual initiatives organized not by our dicastery but from other representative like embassies, but also from people that are talking about truth. So I was interested on listening to the previous presentation because we are hosting a lot of fruits coming to Rome from all over Italy, at least, and all over Europe that are asking for our patronage. So it's interesting that we are crossing this these two intervents from my intervention and the previous one, because it is something that happens very often, that we are welcoming people that comes walking or with horses or bicycles, or also we had in a boat coming down from the Tiber, and the next week we will host the great pilgrimage from the canoeing, a kayak. I don't know how to say that in English, and so yeah, this one is almost what I can say about the preparation and celebration of the Jubilee. If you want to know something more in detail, please let me know. I just prepared a fast presentation because I don't want it to be so long, and I'm here to wait for your question if you might wanted to know something in details.
How do you experience like the spirit or like the mood of the pilgrims that are coming to Rome? Because I assume they are not coming all in the same way. You were mentioning some are walking, some are riding their bicycles, some are canoeing, or however it's called. And what do you see, for example, are some more in something more personal, more spiritual, or simply because they wanted to walk and they were thinking, oh, there's something going on in Rome and the Vatican City, let's go there. It's the year 2025. What are the differences that you see? And also maybe like the different types of people, how much youth, how much older youth?
I think that, of course, we are facing a great number of pilgrims. So we are not, in fact, we are not really in touch with all of these people because we are in office and we are trying to manage everything with the municipality of Rome, with the Italian government, which is a great challenge. But we are very collaborative with them. So we have a great collaboration with the Italian government and the city of Rome. So, but what can I say? But like I say that myself because I live not far from the Vatican, so I almost experienced that all day, like even walking in the evening. Is that we have really different type of pilgrims coming in Rome. Mostly are coming in great groups or little group, but then in group, not many singular pilgrim or family, like one family. They always try to create a group which it makes me think that they have a spiritual reason to come. But then what I think is that even when some people are coming without any particular spiritual reason, once they hear, also thanks to the cultural program, also thanks to the collateral activities that we are organizing to welcome the pilgrim, they feel welcome and they feel something, and they say like, okay, maybe I didn't came with great religious or spiritual mind or mood, but then as I'm here, I think is valuable to try to experience the Jubilee as it is. So it's a spiritual event. It's not a touristic event. It's not only something touristic. It's not only to visit the Vatican. The Vatican is always open. Is always open in 2024. It's gonna be open in 2026. I must assure you. And so I think that when they come without any spiritual or not that much spiritual mind, once they hear, they take a spiritual mind to cross the holy door, because it's really an experience, because you feel the universality of the church, because you see that every kind of people from all over the world are coming in Rome right now. Talking about the young, we had the Jubilee of Teens in around the death of Pope Francis, but then we also had more than 250,000 teenagers in Rome. So teenagers, we are talking about from 12 to 17 years old. So I think that there are a lot of young people. There's a lot of interesting in young people, mostly in Italy, of course, and Europe. And I must say, from the USA, from the United States of America, a lot of young people from United States of America. So that's my answer to your question.
I think it's very interesting what you just said, because this is actually something we felt during our activities in a very similar way. Because during our three activities on the Santiago route, Via Francigena and Romea Strata, we had the opportunity to meet and gather with quite a few young people, and they were coming over these activities, very short segments of pilgrimage routes, really, with probably with very different motivations behind. So we just gathered together, and we felt like everyone had his own reason to start walking, basically. Sometimes some faith kind of attitude, or maybe some inner journey themselves, but the group kind of feeling we felt, and it's very interesting the way some of the volunteers are coming over through all these different routes within this project, Young Pilgrims of Hope. I think that it makes sense. I mean, and it creates some continuity, and the group growing along these routes is really something which is astonishing at some extent. So I was wondering, once we arrive in Rome, we'll be there in September, and what sort of welcome young people between 18 and 25, more or less, are supposed to expect? I know that there is a big gathering. Maybe you can tell us something about it by the end of July, because I think that's the youth jubilee. But then again, apart from that big event, I was curious to know how many youth people are going to be present there. What sort of other events we might expect in Rome in September?
In September, so it's you've been a bit difficulty because I have your I can answer you, but I can't, in fact, because I have to wait for the end of this month to because we will lead a press conference to present the last cultural events of the year. But then you have to expect at least three great concerts of classical music. Three great concerts. I can tell you more now because we are still trying to prepare and to give details, and one exhibitions, and we are planning to exhibit some Raffaello from our collection and from another international collection. A lot of initiatives are will take part in Rome, and you can also take a look inside the calendar or inside the Jubilee website. You have a general calendar, and you can see what is planned now for September. And a great concert is now planned, a concert for peace, and the 13th. So yeah, I think well, at the almost on the in half September, we will host a great concert for peace. But I can't tell you more now because it's a great initiative. So we must wait for the press conference to present that. And for the Jubilee of Youth, we're expecting now 1 million of young people hosted here in Tor Vergata for the Jubilee of Youth.